female 20 years old, and my husband, male 22 years old, have been getting into a lot of fights. I am currently 38 weeks pregnant and have some rules for when the baby comes. No kissing and no pictures of the baby posted online. I also wanted to not have visitors for the first 2 weeks, but this was denied because it's not fair for everyone else. My husband had a talk with his mother-in-law, Mil, and father-in-law, Phil, and a huge dispute happened. My mother-in-law was not happy with the no kissing rule because she said she loves having babies on her chest and kissing them. My husband tried to enforce the rule, but she was very upset. He came to me and told me to allow her to kiss the baby on the head, but I said no kissing a newborn because of diseases and germs. He told me I need to make a compromise and give that up to make his mom happy. I don't want to because people can't simply understand that kissing a newborn is dangerous. He tried using a lot of math and statistics to show me that it's not a big deal and how unlikely the baby is to get sick. He told me I am being absurd and controlling, and that since other people will follow my other rules, I should allow his mom and grandma to kiss the baby. I still said no, and it's not negotiable because they can all wait. Then, I exploded when he told me that he invited them to come up 2 hours after the baby was born because, according to him, that is all I need to recover. I don't want people there right away because I will be in pain, bleeding, and still dirty in a gown. Not to mention that there will be people coming in to look at my private parts, often after giving birth. I feel like the hospital should be my safe space to recover and bond with the baby, and that the decision to invite people when I am ready is up to me, not to him. He said that it is his baby too, and it's not all about me. His mom is also very pushy and manipulative to the point where she told him that she wouldn't come meet the baby if she could not kiss it. She has also made comments that attacked me about my body size and the baby's size. She has also claimed the baby as my baby. She is just notorious for not following rules and doing whatever she wants. So am I the a-hole for not wanting people there right away and kissing my baby? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot, you're the one giving birth. While you're in the hospital, when you get there, tell the nurses you don't want any visitors, except those you want to be allowed in. If you're in the U.S., they check IDs before you're allowed to go on the maternity floor. Tell your husband that if he's not going to respect your boundaries, then when you're discharged, you won't be going home with him. You'll be going home with your mother. Send him a video of babies with RSV. It is very real and can be very deadly. You should also tell him that people who are going to be visiting the baby need to have a current Tdap shot. Yes, it is his baby too, but it's his job to put you and the baby first and deal with his family. If he refuses to, then, as a mother, you can put your baby's safety first. If he cannot respect your boundaries that were put in place to protect your child, then he can come visit you as much as he wants to at your mother's house. That will give you a safe place to recover. It's okay to have boundaries, and that's your maternal instinct kicking in. Listen to that. You really do need to put your foot down now, or it will get worse, and you will be overrun with his family. I would have a serious discussion with him that it's time to put you and the baby as his priority and stand up to his mom. Your baby is a real-life person, not a toy. What she wants simply doesn't matter. You owe her nothing. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Your boundaries here are very reasonable. As far as the hospital, as the patient, you can set limits on who is allowed to visit, and the hospital will enforce them. If you tell them that his family can't come, and that you expect them to try anyway, they'll keep watch over your room and bounce people on your do not allow list. If your husband and his family can't be trusted to respect your desire to rest, recover, and bond with the baby, ask the hospital to help you because they will. Sure, it's his baby too, which is why he's allowed. It's not his mom's baby or his grandma's baby, so they need to wait until both you and he are ready to have visitors. He doesn't get to override you like that. It'll be harder to fight him about people kissing the baby because you won't have the hospital staff ready to defend you, but you're right there too. Only the people the baby lives with should be kissing them during its first month of life. RSV is a mild cold for most adults, but it can cause hospitalization or death for a newborn. Why does your husband care more about his mommy's delicate feelings than he does his baby's health, maybe even its life? Comment 3. Not the idiot. Your husband should not ask you to compromise so that his mother is happy. Your husband has a duty and an obligation to ask his mother to make compromises so that his wife, who has just given birth, is tired and discovering motherhood is less stressed. You need to have a serious discussion with your husband. The most important thing is not other people's feelings or whether it's fair. The most important thing is your well-being. Before being the baby's room, the hospital room is your room as a patient recovering from childbirth. Your husband didn't give birth and should be your support when you're tired and at the end of your rope, not your enemy. If he isn't planning on respecting your requests, talk to the nurses and forbid visits. And by the way, kissing a newborn is extremely dangerous and can land them in the hospital. Ever heard of RSV? You should send a link to your husband and let him meditate. He's putting his mother's whims before his baby's health and life. Now, for the next story. My 28-year-old brother has 2 kids from his first marriage. Me and my brother get along well. The kids love me and I love them. The problem is my brother's new wife, Kate, who is 28. They got married last year, and I was happy about them. I really liked Kate, as we are the same age and could relate to many things, until I realized she despises me and badmouths me to our friends. After confronting Kate about why she dislikes me, she said that it's because I keep in touch with Tom's ex-wife, Luana. The 2 of them divorced on good terms and have 50-50 custody of their kids. I still meet up with Luana occasionally to plan things for the kids' birthdays and holidays, as Luana and the kids are my family. Kate complained about it to Tom, to which he said he can't tell me what to do with my friendship with Luana. Since then, Kate has done everything in her power to prevent me from meeting Tom and his kids. I can only see them when they're staying with Luana. We have a tradition of a family vacation each May. Tom was invited to come with Kate, and they did. Kate knows I'm allergic to pineapple, but she still mixed the cocktails with pineapple juice. She said it's orange juice, so I took a sip and immediately felt how it burned down my throat. I ended up in the hospital getting a drip, and holidays being cut short because of that. Kate claims she didn't know I was allergic to anything and that she genuinely thought it's orange juice, but I beg to differ. My mom and Tom are on her side, however, saying it was a genuine mistake. I only drank it in the first place because I could have never thought that she would try to kill me. A couple of weeks ago, I found Kate parked in my driveway. She gave me an earful about how awful of a person I am for not accepting her into the family fully. I told her I did when we first met, but I don't see her as family anymore after how she treated me. She went hysterical, so I had to call Tom to pick her up. I'm getting married in December, and my fiancé hates Kate for what she did to me. So we decided it's the best thing to not invite her at all. My mom called me and told me to grow up after she found out Kate isn't invited. Tom begged me to invite her too, as he doesn't want to come if Kate isn't going. He said I'm straining his new marriage, and I do feel really bad about it. Kate came over to me after getting the invitation and realizing she wasn't included. She called me and my fiancé a couple of assholes. She said how I should understand her better and love her more, and cried, but I couldn't bring myself to feel one bit sorry. I told them it's our wedding, and we get to decide who is invited and who's not. My fiancé is 100% with me on this, but after being bombarded with calls from Mom, Tom, Kate, and our friends for a few days now, I'm starting to overthink. Am I really the idiot because I don't want Kate to be around me on my wedding? Now, for the next story. Last November, my husband, 32-year-old male, and I, 31-year-old female, went on a weekend trip to a cabin in upstate NY, rural, with some of his cousins. I've met these cousins multiple times, but this was the first time going away. One of his second cousins and his wife, in their 40s, are extremely intense about recycling. For example, one night there were about 25 people to feed, and they refused to use the eco-friendly paper plates I brought. They actually told me off for bringing them, and we all used glass. We also brought a case of waters in plastic bottles, which we never drink at home. We have a filter and use glasses, but do on the rare time we go away. And as soon as they saw it, They told us to bring it back to the car and that they didn't want to see it again. Everyone else had reusable water bottles. We had to go find a collapsible one that happened to be in our car and share that. They also yelled at me when I didn't drink the last sip of my beer, which was warm since I'd been drinking it for 2 hours, and they made me drink it before throwing it away because it wastes cans. Then, when I put the fan in the trash, the cousin's wife playfully yelled at me. I don't know her well at all, even after I explained we aren't allowed to recycle cans in our town. Overall, it was just kind of intense for me. We all paid equal shares to stay there, so I'm not sure why they thought they could run the whole thing. We were already kind of outsiders, since we don't see these cousins all that often, so it was pretty uncomfortable. I will say I'm very eco-conscious at home. I use all glass, we compost, and we recycle as much as possible. We have an all-organic yard and wear mostly organic clothing made with fair labor practices. However, I felt annoyed because I had to play specifically by their rules, doing what they thought was important. I didn't yell at anyone else for bringing non-organic food, despite the fact that we eat organic, because I understood that we're on vacation and other families may not do things the same, so we have to bend a little. The group is trying to plan again for this year, and I told my husband I'm not up for going. It was just too stressful, and I would feel like I need to be so careful. He got upset with me and said that while they're annoying, it's not a big deal, and I should do one weekend for him to see his extended cousins. He says I'm being a bit harsh towards his cousins and making too much of this. He says he's let plenty of things roll off with my family and wishes I would do the same just for this one weekend. I will say that the cousins weren't super nice and laid around, mostly watching TV instead of interacting or playing games, so the recycling thing is mainly what sticks in my head from the whole weekend since there wasn't much else. Now I'm feeling guilty but still really don't want to go. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot if the in-laws' family members make you miserable, then it shouldn't be on you to make happy with them anyway. Compromise only works if both sides are compromising, not one. Frankly, you should have brought up the issues at the time and stood up for yourself. I would have if it was big enough of an annoyance that I wouldn't want to visit them again. I also would have talked about it with the spouse, at least shortly after the trip, so they could reach out to their family about it. They are his family that he wants to visit and wants you to go with him when he could go solo, so he can sort it out. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Why do spouses have to do everything together? I never get the need to drag your significant other to events they don't want to go to and that have little reason for them to be there. This isn't a wedding, funeral, or even dinner with close family. It's cousins that you don't see but once a year. But it's a two-way street. You can't guilt trip him into going to your high school reunions because you don't want to show up alone and then force him to listen to Remember When stories all night long. Comment 3. Everyone sucks here, them for their behavior, you for kowtowing to it. Go, but don't let them be so incredibly overbearing. If they tell you you can't use plastic water bottles, tell them to frick off. I have no idea why you rolled over so quickly. Also, they're complete morons. Once the water bottles have been packaged, the ecological damage is already done. They exist. You can't unmake them by putting them in a car for a weekend. Now, for the next story. My fiancé and I are engaged. Our wedding will be in the Catholic Church, and it's very important for us to plan our wedding date around the availability of the church and the priest's schedule. After a lot of communication with the local parish and priest, and consideration of the schedule of our families, extended families, and friends that'll be traveling from far, we've locked down the 19th of January as the date of our wedding. We then told our respective families of the decision that we've made and wanted to start planning travel itineraries. One thing I've not mentioned is that I'm from Malaysia, and my fiancé is from New Zealand, where we both met and are residing. We both decided that we'll be having our wedding in Malaysia, as I have a very big family there, and my fiancé's extended family that he'd like to invite are mostly in Singapore. His parents and older sister are currently living in NZ and are happy to travel to Malaysia for the wedding, as they can also visit relatives in Singapore whom they missed. Now, when my fiancé announced our wedding date to his family, we did it through a video call as we're not based in the same area. His parents, older sister, twin brother Alex, and Alex's wife-to-be were on the call. The moment we announced our date, everyone was overjoyed. Except for Alex's wife-to-be, Lucy. She yelled out, "What? They're getting married before us?" And my fiancé and I just looked at each other in shock. They then left the call abruptly. An hour later, Alex texted him saying that Lucy is very upset, and they think that our wedding is going to overshadow theirs. Alex also mentioned that Lucy said there's a thing in her culture where two weddings within the same family cannot be within 3 months of each other, or it'll bring bad luck to the second couple. We later found out this was just a lie. They're also angry at us for not discussing our wedding date with them first before announcing it to the family. Do we need their permission to get married on our special day? They also told us to change our wedding date in order to let them get married first before us. So we stood our ground and said no to date changing and told them that they're being unreasonable. A little about Lucy and Alex. They've had their civil union in Lucy's country in early 2022, so legally they are married. However, there were some dodgy stuff happening behind the scenes. For example, they didn't tell us at all about them deciding to get married until 3 weeks before it happened. When they did tell us about it, family members were curious and wanted to be involved, but Lucy was not happy for them to be involved. She only wanted her family in it. Sadly, my future in-laws are upset, so Lucy and Alex wanted to do a church wedding in NZ now, but haven't decided what to do, and as you have guessed, no one knows what's happening on their end. They're being secretive and yet angry at us for not discussing our wedding date with them. There's more to this, but am I the a-hole for defending our marriage? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. They're married. They didn't share their wedding date. They're asking you for a level of communication they themselves have not executed. Rules for thee and not for me. So anyway, congrats on your nuptials. Go get married. Have a kick-ass wedding. Let them cry about it. Comment 2. Not the idiot. And what culture is Lucy from exactly? Is it the culture of, I pull stuff out of my butt to try and make people give me my way? Well, at least you now have a pretty good read on how Lucy's going to react to everything you do before her going forward. Comment 3. Not the idiot. You set a date. They have not. Well, they did, but they didn't bother to invite your side of the family. You were under no obligation to wait and let them have their big second wedding before yours. Enjoy the wedding planning. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.